And then the film's really about how he's just a puppet, and it's really about the banking system and the New World Order and the FEMA camps. I mean, really, and all showing how he's just a front man. But I think the Obama deception is going to really be a powerful tool.
That, and I tell you what, your Prison Planet TV, Alex, just amazing. The studio, the professionalism, the quality of the production, having a guest live on that program and the video streaming on the internet, having that video available for later viewing, that's an incredible, powerful media source. And I think people like yourself are actually becoming the new mainstream media, because if people are wanting real information, they're not turning on their TV set anymore.
But that's why they're moving to shut down the old web, with net neutrality ending that, the taxation, the control. And then notice how they introduce net taxation. Oh, we're going to tax porn. Then you read the next sentence, and everything else basically on the web. And that sets up the monitoring, the control, the bureaucracy. We had a tax bureaucrat show up just an hour ago here at the office. They're erecting all these new taxes. And they show up and say, we don't even know what the real rules are. Just pay us what we think, or we'll come after you. I mean, it's just, it's out of control. Anything else, Greg?
I just want to urge all of your listeners to get the video, make the copies as you say you are, and massively and quickly get them out there for our own safety. And then I just wanted to ask one question. Is this digital TV conversion situation that's going on have anything to do with conspiracy?
Okay. That's meant to bankrupt smaller community TV stations and systems. Also, it's admitted mind control with the flicker rate, the way they do television. And yes, the subliminal programming is that much stronger with the digital signal. I've even been in the University of Texas Psychology Department years ago. I mean, just there they were studying it for the Pentagon. 90% of the research plus was DARPA. And yes, folks, you have got to turn off mainstream television. And I would even spend too much time, overly on the internet. You use the visual medium to wake up those that are in the matrix. But watching limited clips for analysis, whatever, that's fine. But even spending too much time on the web itself, unless you're doing it as an activist tool consciously. I've told the story a couple of falls ago, about a year and a half ago. I was out at my family farm and ranch when I was with my uncle. And he's aware of the New World Order, and Army veteran, helicopter pilot, all that stuff, Vietnam. And he's watching sports, college football. That's all he watches, TV. And I said, do you see that subliminal, Uncle? And Uncle Bev, and he said, no. And because he was unconscious, he was sitting there watching TV, and I said, okay, you got to be conscious. It comes up about every minute. They flash for about half a second or less than half a second, different Miller Lite, Home Depot ads, and that is subliminal. It's not a mistake. And I said, watch. And about 5 times he couldn't get himself conscious. And I said, okay, here it is. Here it is. Open your eyes. Focus, focus, focus. And he went, oh man, I saw it. And that's because it takes about 45 minutes on average, depending on the studies, with old TV. Now it's faster. The first time you watch it, to go into a lower dream state. I mean, they hook electrodes on. It's a fact. You go into a dream state, a subconscious level where everything's going through, just the flicker rate alone. It's like the flashing light for hypnotism. Now, when they add in all the other stuff, it just compounds it. So what happens is, after you've watched TV a lot, within a few seconds, you go into that couch potato mode. And it doesn't matter if in the conscious mind you're aware of the New World Order. Now you're being bombarded, you're being acclimated. You can't help but smile back at the info babe who's making all these sexual overtures like she wants to mate with you, but it's really just a television set and a woman in New York or Chicago or D.C. or L.A. And she's, and they're all laughing, and it's fun, and they've got the cute guy for the women to like him. And it's all crafted, and there's messages in the sitcoms and the dramas to condition you. And now they've got all these mainstream shows admitting world government secret groups. They're bad. The government's going to nuke you and false flag. That's only done to acclimate the subconscious so that when they hear us talking about the real world, people won't be shocked because they've already had that template run through their mind through all these dramas and through all these programs to where, I've heard of government nuking to get total control before, or releasing a bioweapon. That's on TV shows. So you're in a comfortable setting in your home, in your couch, watching TV with a beer, popcorn, or with dinner with your wife and children. And so you're watching Horrible things, martial law, the MTV ads where trucks pull up and grab everybody and take them out and throw them in a truck to take them to a camp. That's done to condition you so that when you really see it, you've been subconsciously acclimated because the body has a physical memory of your hormonal level was at a good level, a restful level. You were in a comfortable position with comfortable temperature. So when your mind sees these you're meant, the way humans are designed through our development, that if you see people being grabbed and bashed and killed, that was real. That's people's 50 years ago would get upset by that. It wasn't that they were wimps. It was that they were geared that when you're seeing blood and guts, you're supposed to smell it. You're supposed to have high adrenaline levels. It's combat. It's war. But now you're just going through a video game shooting people and zombies all day and raping prostitutes for extra cash in the games. And you're doing it in a comfortable position, so it's mass programming to where when the real thing happens, you're unable to respond because you've been programmed. You understand?
Much, Alex.
Thank you. Do you have any final comments on what I just said, Mr. Williams?
Well, it's just frightening that they think it through so thoroughly, but they do. It's frightening that they give it that much thought.
Well, there is a war on for your mind. That's our motto at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And if that doesn't insult you and upset you, that they've taken over most of your minds, even if you believe you're conscious.
People need to stop watching so much television. I've just about cut it off completely. 30 minutes a day, that's about it.
Absolutely. And then I train myself to consciously make myself stay conscious during it. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it's a battle, folks. You've got to look away and you've got to stay focused. I mean, it's serious.
Yeah, it's time to re-engage reality. It's time to go out and be involved with your community and be involved in activities. And it doesn't all have to be, scary and, telling people about what's happening. Just engaging your community is going to help things just naturally because that's the right order of things.
Absolutely. If you knock on most of the doors in your town or your neighborhood or you go to city council and talk about issues, they're going to know that when the real thing comes down their street, they're going to remember. And a lot of the seeds that don't sprout right away sprout later. And so that's the key here. Well, we really appreciate you joining us. We appreciate the fine work that the dailynewscaster.com is doing. And we appreciate you coming on the show with us today, Doug Williams, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the future. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Alex.
You better take care. Good to hear from you. We're going to come back in the final segment, hit a few calls. I want to hit a few news stories right now. This issue of arresting you if you photograph the police in England now an act of terrorism. Is it a crime to take pictures? But before we dig that out of the stack and do that and talk to Tony and Scott, if we have time, we should. Two more sponsors that made this radio show possible. One of them is My Solar Backup, the great folks from Solutions from Science. A lot of things can cut off your electrical power, hurricanes, snow, ice, and storms. Listeners should move towards getting off the grid, and here is a good way to do just that. A solar power generator is now available from our longtime sponsor, Solutions from Science. It's designed to provide 1,800 watts of power on demand in the event of any disaster or outage. You get an emergency power backup kit, which consists of the power source 1800 power plant and high-efficiency solar panel designed to provide endless electricity. That's right, it generates free electricity. Remember, too, that gas generators need gas, but in a blackout, gas pumps pump gas because they run on electricity. The solar generator is like having a silent power plant hidden in your home. It's perfect for emergency backup for troubled times. The government doesn't own the sun yet, folks, so make your move now. Their website's www.mysolarbackup.com, mysolarbackup.com, or 877-327-0365, 877-327-0365. And I also want to tell you about another great seed company that we have that is a sponsor. That's survivalistseeds.com. The word survivalistseeds.com. Grow your own healthy food for just 4 pennies a pound and break free from the New World Order. The family business buys in massive bulk and passes those huge discounts on to our listeners. 15,000 heirloom seeds will provide you and your family with 7 years of healthy food. Stop buying and eating New World Order garbage, grow your own healthy food in your own backyard. That's 15,000 heirloom seeds for a great price. That's real food insurance for difficult times we're already entering. Heirloom seeds are the original varieties, non-GMO, non-hybrid. All the seeds date back to over a century. The Mayflower bean came over on the Mayflower ship. Now survivalistseeds.com wants you to become one of their heirloom seed farmers and sell back to them your safe seeds year after year.